My child, your response to this moment will shape what happens next. You may feel this is just another voice among many, but deep inside you already sense that something is different here, that these words carry weight. I am speaking to you now because I see what you cannot see, and I know what is moving around you at this very hour. This is my warning to you, and I do not give it lightly. Do not turn away. Do not let your mind wander from what I am about to say, because missing this could mean missing the protection and the direction you have been asking me for. I am not speaking from a distance. I am not speaking through silence. I am speaking with urgency, because time is not standing still for you. There is something forming ahead of you, something that could bring pain if you walk into it unaware. Hear me clearly. I am not here to frighten you. I am here to guard you. And sometimes guarding you means saying hard things plainly. You have been ignoring small signs, quiet nudges, moments that were meant to slow you down. Every time you felt that something was not right, that was me, reaching for you, turning you gently away from what could harm you. But you kept moving. You told yourself it would pass. You told yourself you would deal with it later. I am telling you now, with all the love I hold for you, that later has arrived. Listen closely, because what you come to understand in these next moments can spare you from a regret that would follow you for years. I have been gentle with you before. I have whispered. I have waited. But a father who sees his child walking toward a cliff does not keep whispering. He raises his voice. That is why my voice feels strong right now. I am pressing through every distraction that fights for your attention, because you matter too much for me to stay quiet. You are standing at a turning point, and your next step matters more than you know. The choices you make in moments like this either open doors of peace or lead you into hardship that was never meant for you. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to be awake. You have been strong for so long, carrying heavy things quietly, telling no one. But true strength also knows when to stop, be still, and receive direction. This is that moment. If these words are reaching your heart, answer me now. Say amen if you believe I am speaking to you. I see the fear you do not speak about. I see the thoughts that circle you at night, the uncertainty that sits in your chest like a stone. You push it away, but it keeps returning, because it is tied to something real that needs your attention. I am not distant from your struggle. I am inside it with you, closer than your own heartbeat, guiding you step by step. You are not alone, even when it feels like no one on earth understands what you carry. What is coming is not meant to destroy you, but it will test you if you walk into it unprepared. That is why I am speaking so clearly now. Awareness is where preparation begins. When you can see what is ahead, you gain the power to respond instead of react. I did not make you weak. I placed strength inside you long ago, and now I am calling you to use it wisely. There are people around you, situations before you, and decisions waiting on you that require careful attention. Not everything that looks good is meant for you. Not every open path is mine. You have felt hesitation before certain choices, and that hesitation was not random. It was my hand on your shoulder, slowing you down, keeping your peace from being stolen. Trust that feeling now more than ever, because it is one of the ways I speak to you. I know you are tired. I know you have been waiting for a breakthrough, waiting for answers, waiting for the confusion to lift. Hear this. Clarity is being handed to you right now, but you must be willing to receive it. Do not rush past this moment looking for something easier or more comfortable. Sometimes the truth feels heavy before it brings relief. But my truth always leads you to safety. You are not being punished. You're not being abandoned. You're being guided, even in this hour when my voice sounds urgent and my words press hard against your heart. I care about what happens to you. I am not willing to stay silent while something this important hangs in the balance. Your life carries a purpose that no one else can carry, and I refuse to watch you stumble without reaching for you one more time. There are patterns around you that have repeated themselves again and again. You have noticed them. Quietly, without telling anyone, you have counted them. And each time something felt wrong, you convinced yourself it was nothing, hoping it would correct itself on its own. My child, I tell you the truth. It will not change unless you respond differently. That is why I am calling you now with more force than before. This time cannot be treated like the other times. You are being given a chance to break what has been quietly building against you. Not many pause long enough to hear this. You did. That is not an accident, and it is not a small thing. You are here because I interrupted your path on purpose, because the next few steps of your life are too important to leave to chance. So stay with me now. Let the noise of the world fall away for these few minutes. Let your heart grow quiet enough to hear what I am about to show you. I will name the danger. I will show you the way through it. And I will remind you of who you are, because you have forgotten your strength in the fog of these last seasons. It never left you. I never left you. Keep listening, for what comes next concerns the very thing you have been praying about in secret. Now let me show you what I have been protecting you from, so you understand why my warning came with such force. There is a pattern that has been forming around your life. It has worn different faces, different situations, different people, different decisions, but the root of it is the same. You have been stepping into things too quickly, trusting too easily, saying yes before your spirit finished speaking. This is not because you are careless. It is because your heart is open and your intentions are good. But not everything around you carries the same goodness, and that is where the danger begins. The step you were about to take was tied to that same pattern. It was not just another small choice. It was a doorway, and behind that doorway waited the same pain you have already tasted, wearing new clothing. You would have found yourself asking the question you have asked before. Why does this keep happening to me? Why do things begin so well and end in loss? I am breaking that cycle for you right now. But you must work with me. Do not return to the old way of moving, because that is where the trouble keeps finding its beginning. There is also a voice near you that has not been honest with you. It may come through someone close, or through a situation that looks harmless on the surface, but it carries hidden weight. You have felt moments of doubt about it, moments when something did not sit right in your spirit. You pushed those feelings aside because you did not want to seem difficult, because you wanted to keep the peace. I am telling you now that those feelings were not suspicion. They were warnings. They were mine. You have been trying so hard not to cause trouble, not to ask hard questions, not to disappoint anyone. And in doing so, you have allowed things into your life that should have been stopped at the door. This is where I need you to grow stronger. Not in anger, in clarity. You are allowed to step back. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to wait before agreeing. That does not make you unkind. It makes you wise, and wisdom is armor. Understand this and hold it close. Not every opportunity is a blessing, even when it arrives dressed as one. Some things come wrapped in promise but carry consequences you cannot see until you're already inside them. That is why you must not rush, no matter how urgent something appears. If a thing is truly from me, it will not demand that you silence your inner warning. It will not push you to act before you have peace. I never lead through pressure. I never guide through panic. Anything that stampedes you is not carrying my voice. So test what stands before you. Think of the choice you were about to make, the direction you were leaning toward. When you hold it in your mind, do you feel peace, or do you feel a tightness, a hurry, a quiet dread you keep explaining away? That difference matters more than logic. It matters more than how things appear. It matters more than what others are telling you. Peace is one of the clearest signals I give you. And when peace is absent, something is out of place. I also see the deeper reason you have been rushing. You feel behind. You look at where you thought you would be by now. And the distance between that picture and your life has made you run. But hear me, you are not late. The paths I closed to you were not rejection. They were rescue. Some of the delays you have cursed in the dark were the very things that kept you from ruin. You could not see it then. I am showing you now. There is a fork in the road just ahead of you. One direction looks easier, faster, more comfortable. It promises quick relief, but it carries hidden costs that would unfold slowly. The kind of loss you would not notice until it had already taken root. The other direction feels slower and less certain, but it holds peace that lasts and ground that will not crumble beneath you. You were leaning toward the first path without knowing its weight. That is why I stepped in front of you when I did. And hear this about the loss I am turning you from. It would not have come as one great crash. It would have come quietly, a little at a time. It would have drained your peace, your confidence, your sense of direction, so slowly that you would have adjusted to it. You would have called it normal. You would have woken one day far from where you were meant to stand, unsure of how you drifted there. I intervened before it began because prevention is always kinder than repair. You have rebuilt before. I watched you do it. I saw the effort it demanded, the weight you carried, the long nights it took to find yourself again. I have not forgotten what that cost you, and I am not willing to watch you pay that price again when it can be avoided. This warning exists because I remember, even when you try to forget. So here is what I ask of you now. Slow your steps. Guard your yes. Question what hurries you. Watch the voice that flatters you but leaves your spirit uneasy. And when hesitation rises in your chest before a decision, do not treat it as weakness. Treat it as my hand, holding you back from an edge you cannot see. That hesitation has already saved you more times than you know. You are not powerless in what is coming. You never were. The strength I placed in you has not gone anywhere. It has only been buried under doubt, and I am bringing it back to the surface now, where you can take hold of it. If you trust that my warning comes from love, declare it boldly. Let your amen rise to me now. Now I must speak to you about trust, because trust is the ground on which everything else I am telling you will stand or fall. You say you believe me. You say you want my guidance. But belief that lives only in words is a lamp with no oil. Trust becomes real the moment it costs you something, the moment you place what you hold into my hands and leave it there. Abraham did not learn what I could provide until he climbed the mountain. Peter did not learn what water could hold until he left the boat. You have been gripping your life tightly, my child. Your plans, your worries, your provision, all held in a closed fist. And I understand why. Lack has frightened you before. Seasons of little have taught your hands to clutch. But a closed fist cannot receive anything new. Everything I want to place in your life requires an open hand, and an open hand is the oldest language of faith. It says, "I believe you are who you say you are." So today I am asking you to show me your trust, not merely to speak it. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you, into the harvest I am preparing. Do you remember the widow at the temple? Many gave from their abundance that day, and their coins rang loud against the box. She gave 2 small pieces, almost nothing in the eyes of men. Yet I said she gave more than all of them, because she gave from her trust and not from her surplus. I have never measured an offering by its size. I measure it by what it declares about the heart that releases it. Hers declared that she believed I would hold her tomorrow, and I did. Now let me return to the path in front of you, because there is more you must see. The danger I warned you about was never stronger than you. It only held power while you could not see it. The moment your eyes opened, its grip began to loosen. This is why awareness is among the greatest protections I have given you. A trap that is seen is a trap already half broken. What hides from the light cannot survive in it. And there is something else you must release, something that has been steering you from the shadows. It is the fear of missing out. That fear has made you say yes to things your spirit questioned. It has made you leap because you believed the door would slam shut if you paused to pray. Hear me clearly. What I have set aside for you cannot be lost because you took time to be sure. My blessings do not expire while you seek my face. Only counterfeits demand haste. Let that fear go. It has been leading you in the wrong direction for a long time, whispering that wisdom is delay and delay is loss. The opposite is true. Every time you rushed, you stumbled into seasons that took years to leave. Every time you waited on me, the way opened without you forcing it. Look back honestly and you will see this written across your own story. You are also learning to tell the difference between what feels urgent and what is truly important. The urgent shouts, the important whispers. The urgent demands an answer before nightfall. The important waits for you in the quiet place, patient as morning. I speak in the whisper far more often than in the shout, and those who learn to hear me there are rarely deceived. Elijah did not find me in the wind or the fire. He found me in the still, small voice. There is a reason I am teaching you this now. The next season of your life will bring choices dressed in urgency, voices that press you, moments engineered to make you move before you think. If you do not learn the difference between pressure and leading, you will be pulled from the path again and again. But if you learn it, and you are learning it now, you will walk through crowded rooms of noise and hear only me. I also want you to notice what has been happening within you, even as you listen. The heaviness you carried when you began has started to shift. That is not your imagination. That is what happens when truth enters a heart that is ready. Confusion cannot remain where clarity has been welcomed. Fear cannot keep its seat when faith stands up. You came to this moment burdened, and you will leave it lighter, not because your circumstances changed in these few minutes, but because you did. Hold on to what you are receiving here. Do not let it scatter the moment life grows loud again. The seed that falls on the path is snatched away, but the seed that falls on good soil takes root and multiplies. Be the good soil. Guard what is being planted in you at this hour. Water it with prayer, and return to it when the world tries to convince you it never happened. For I am not finished with you. What I have shown you so far is the danger in the doorway. What comes next is the releasing, the letting go that will empty your hands so I can fill them. This part will ask more of you, but you are ready for it now in a way you were not ready an hour ago. Stay with me and do not fear what I ask you to lay down, for I never ask my children to release anything except to give them something greater. Now we come to the releasing, and I will not pretend this part is easy. There are things in your life that have reached their end, even if you have not accepted it yet. You have held on to them because they were familiar, not because they were right. Familiar can feel like safety, but familiar can also be a cage with the door standing open, and you pacing inside it out of habit. I am asking you to look with honest eyes at what you have been carrying and to ask a simple question. Does this bring me peace? Or do I only keep it because I have carried it so long? You already know some of the answers. There is something specific that came to your mind even as I spoke. Something you have been trying to make work, hoping it would change, hoping it would become what you needed it to be. It has not changed. And deep down, beneath all the excuses you have built around it, you know it is not aligned with where you are meant to go. Holding it is creating the blockage you keep praying for me to remove. My child, sometimes I cannot move the mountain because you are the one holding it in place. Letting go is not failure. Hear that again. Letting go is not failure. It is wisdom choosing what is right over what is comfortable. When you release what I have marked for release, you are not losing. You are obeying. And obedience always makes room for what I have been waiting to give. The grain of wheat must fall to the ground before it can multiply. The old garment must come off before the new one can be worn. This is the order of things in my kingdom, and it has never worked any other way. I know your heart forms attachments deeply. I made that heart, and I love how it loves. But the same devotion that makes you faithful also makes you slow to walk away from what harms you. You have called it loyalty. Sometimes it was. But loyalty to what is broken beyond your power to mend is not loyalty. It is delay. And your life was meant to move, not to circle the same ground year after year, wearing the path smooth with your waiting. Look also at the doors that have closed around you, the ones you grieved, the ones you pounded on long after they were shut. I closed them, not to wound you, but to spare you. You asked me why, and heaven seemed silent, and you wondered if you had been forgotten. You were never forgotten. Some of those doors led to rooms you could not survive unchanged. What you called rejection was redirection. What you called silence was me standing between you and what you could not see behind the door. And new doors are already opening, quietly, without noise or announcement. Opportunities, connections, and moments are being arranged for you even now. But you must be standing in the right place to walk through them. You cannot enter the new while your arms are wrapped around the old. This is why your releasing matters so much. It is not about emptiness. It is about readiness. There is one more thing you must lay down, and this one lives closer to the bone. It is the old version of yourself. You have carried labels that were stamped on you by hard seasons, by unkind voices, by your own harsh judgment of your past. Failure. Foolish. Too late. Not enough. Those names did not come from me. I never once called you by them, and it is time to stop answering when they are called. You are not the person who made those old mistakes. You are the person who survived them and learned. There is a difference, and the difference is everything. When I look at you, I do not see a record of your worst days. I see what I created and what you are becoming. Peter denied me 3 times, and I built my church on him anyway. I did not define him by his weakest night, and I will not define you by yours. So release the guilt you have been paying on a debt I already forgave. You keep returning to it like a collector, demanding payment from yourself again and again. But the account is settled. When I forgive, I do not keep the ledger open. As far as the east is from the west, that is how far I have removed your failures from you. The only one still holding them is you, and today I'm asking you to set them down. Release, too, the people you have outgrown without hatred and without noise. Not every parting needs a war. Some things end simply because their season ends, and you can honor what was good in them while still walking forward. Bless them in your heart and take your step. You are allowed to love someone and still not follow them where they are going. Do not wait until releasing feels easy, because that day will not come. Obedience rarely waits for the feelings to agree. Abraham left his country before he knew the destination. The fishermen left their nets while the nets were still full. If they had waited for the leaving to feel comfortable, they would have died beside the same shore where I first called them. Move while it costs you something. That is when the moving counts, and that is when heaven takes notice. And when the ache of letting go rises, and it will rise, do not read it as a sign you chose wrong. You invested time, hope, and heart, and the ache is simply the weight of that investment leaving your hands. It passes. What does not pass is the peace that comes after. The lightness of walking without chains you had stopped noticing you wore. That first morning of freedom will tell you everything the fear of release tried to hide. For what falls away at my word was never meant to travel further with you. And what remains, what I have chosen for you, no power on earth can strip from your hands. Trust the pruning. The gardener cuts nothing out of cruelty. He cuts so the branch can finally bear the fruit it was made for. You are that branch, my child, and your season of bearing is closer than you think. Now that your hands are opening, I must speak to you about your mind, because the battle you are in is won or lost there first. The danger I warned you about was not only outside of you. Part of it lived within, in the thoughts you allowed to stay, in the feelings you followed without questioning where they came from. Small openings, left unguarded, become wide gates. I stopped you in time to close them. Now I am teaching you how to keep them closed. Begin to guard your mind the way a watchman guards a city at night. Not every thought that knocks deserves entry. Not every feeling that rises deserves a throne. Some thoughts arrive wearing your own voice, yet they were never yours. They are echoes of old wounds, seeds of doubt scattered by hard seasons, fears grown fat on midnight worry. Learn to stand at the gate and ask each one, do you serve peace or do you serve confusion? What serves confusion, turn away. I am not asking you to empty your mind. I am asking you to renew it. Fill it with what is true, what is noble, what is worthy of the life I am building in you. A field left bare grows weeds without any help, but a field planted with good seed leaves the weeds no room. This is why I keep bringing you back to my words, to prayer, to the quiet place, not as duty, as planting. And here is a secret of strength that few discover. The pause. There is power in the space between what happens to you and how you answer it. You have been quick to react, especially when pressure rises or fear grips you. Those swift reactions have carried you into choices that never reflected your true heart. But when you pause, even for a breath, even for one prayer, you make room for me to speak before you move. That small silence is where wisdom enters. That is where better roads begin. Restraint will not feel like strength at first. The world has taught you that strength is speed, that power is the loudest answer given fastest. But consider, a city with broken walls falls to anyone, and a spirit without restraint is that city. The one who rules his own spirit is mightier than the one who conquers others. Every time you hold your tongue when anger begs to speak, every time you wait a day before answering what demands an hour, you are growing mightier in the way that matters. Speak your faith to me now if it lives in you. Let this be the moment you say Amen and mean it with your whole heart. There is also a habit I want to lift from you, and that is the endless turning of thoughts, around and around, seeking a certainty this life will never supply. You try to understand everything completely before taking a single step, and when you cannot, you freeze. This has cost you moments where simple trust would have carried you through. I am not asking you to abandon wisdom. I am asking you to marry it to trust. Not everything must be solved in your head before it can be lived in your life. Walking with me has always meant moving with a lamp, not a sunrise. My word lights the step in front of you, not the whole road to the horizon. Those who wait to see every mile before they move never move at all. But those who take the lit step find that the next one lights as they go. This is how I have always led my children. Manna for the day, not the year. A cloud by day, a fire by night, and one day's journey at a time. Let me also speak to you about the trust you give to others, because your heart gives it quickly. That is not a flaw, it is a beauty. But beauty needs wisdom beside it. You have handed trust to voices that had not earned it, and you have paid for that more than once. From now on, let trust be built slowly, tested gently, proven over time. Watch what people do when they gain nothing from you. Listen to how they speak of others when those others are absent. The truth of a person is found there. Be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. I said this long ago, and it has not aged a day. Keep your kindness, keep your open heart. But post wisdom at its door. You can be generous without being blind. You can love people fully and still decline to hand them the keys to your peace. The two are not enemies. Together they are the mark of a soul that has grown up. And when your thoughts turn against you in the night, when the old accusations return with their familiar weight, answer them with what I have said about you, not with what fear says. You are mine. You are called. You are kept. Say it aloud if you must, into the dark, because spoken truth scatters what silent worry feeds. The enemy of your soul has no new tricks. He repeats the old ones because they worked before. They stop working the day you stop believing them. I see how far your mind has already come. There was a time when a single hard word could hold your whole day hostage, when one closed door could convince you every door was locked. You are not there anymore. You recover faster. You question the darkness now instead of agreeing with it. This is growth of the deepest kind, the kind no one applauds because no one sees it. I see it, and I am telling you it has not been wasted. Keep tending this inner ground, my child, because everything you are about to receive will rest upon it. A renewed mind is not a luxury for the faithful. It is the foundation of the road ahead. Guard it, plant it, and give it rest, and it will carry you where your own strength never could. Let me now speak to you about timing, because so much of your frustration has grown from misreading my clock. You have wanted things to move quickly, to feel better immediately, to see results without delay. When they did not come on your schedule, you concluded that something was wrong, that perhaps I had turned my face away. Nothing was wrong. Fruit picked green is bitter, no matter how hungry the picker. Some of what you have begged me to hurry is still ripening, and I love you too much to hand it to you sour. Timing is not an obstacle to my promises. It is part of them. The seed and the harvest are joined by a season that cannot be skipped, and no farmer stands in his field shouting at the ground to move faster. He plants. He tends. He trusts the order I wrote into the earth itself. Your life obeys that same order. There is a time appointed for what concerns you, and it does not run late. It runs exact. So learn to wait with purpose rather than with frustration. Waiting with purpose means your hands stay busy with what is in front of you, while your heart stays open to what is ahead. It means you build, you serve, you grow, you pray, and you let tomorrow remain mine. The one who trusts does not pace the shore demanding the tide. He readies his nets because he knows the tide has never once failed to come. Now look around you, at your surroundings, at the company you keep, at the conversations you give yourself to. Some of them have been draining you more than you have admitted. You leave certain rooms heavier than you entered them. You end certain conversations feeling smaller, cloudier, further from yourself. That heaviness is information. It is telling you where your peace is leaking, and you must not ignore it any longer. You are allowed to create space from what drains you. This is not rejection, and it is not anger. It is stewardship. Your peace is not endless, and where you spend it decides what you have left for what matters. When you remain too long in places that trouble your spirit, my voice becomes harder for you to hear. Not because I speak more softly, but because the noise around you grows louder. Protect the quiet in which you can find me. Guard it like the treasure it is. There is also an approval you have been seeking that you must stop chasing. You have measured too many choices by how they would look to others, by who might question you, by whose voice would grow cold if you obeyed me instead of them. My child, you cannot follow me fully while glancing sideways for permission. The fear of man is a snare, and you have felt its wire around your ankle more than once. Those who walk with me answer to me, and that answer is enough. You do not owe the watching world an explanation for every step of obedience. Sometimes the strongest choice is made quietly, without defense, without announcement. Let them wonder. Understanding may come to them later, or it may never come, and either way, your path remains your path. Noah built in the open for years while others shook their heads. The rain answered every question they ever asked him, and while you wait and release and grow quiet, know this. Things are moving where you cannot see. Arrangements are being made beyond the reach of your eyes. People you have not met are being positioned. Circumstances you could never engineer are being woven together in rooms you have never entered. This is what I do in the silence that my children mistake for absence. When the pieces surface, they will look sudden to everyone but me. What is coming towards you will ask for a steadier version of you, and that steadiness is forming now in these unseen days. Notice the quiet strength that has been rising in you. It is not loud. It does not need to be. It is the strength of knowing when to act and when to be still, when to speak and when to let silence do the speaking. This kind of strength is not given in a moment. It is grown, and yours has been growing. Notice also what no longer moves you. Things that once pulled you have lost their grip Invitations that once flattered you now pass without a ripple. Certain arguments no longer feel worth entering, and certain prizes no longer look like prizes. Do not mourn this change or mistake it for coldness. You are not losing your fire. You are learning where it belongs. This is what it looks like when a soul comes into alignment. Alignment will bring you what striving never could. It does not shove. It does not beg. It flows, the way a river flows when the stones that dammed it are lifted out. You have felt small tastes of it already, days when everything fit, when the right word came at the right time, when provision met need without panic. Those days were not luck. They were previews. They were what life feels like when you stand where I have placed you. So hold your peace through the remaining quiet, my child. Do not let the stillness before the shift convince you that nothing is coming. The deepest works are always silent ones. Winter looks like death to everyone except the gardener, who knows exactly what April holds. I know what your April holds. I planted it myself, and no frost, no delay, and no doubting voice can keep it in the ground one day past its time. Stand firm then, with your lamp lit and your heart unhurried. What belongs to you is already on its way, moving at the pace of my wisdom rather than your worry. And when it arrives, you will understand why it could not have come one season sooner. And you will thank me for every day I made you wait. And now, my child, we come to the walking forward, because everything I have shown you tonight was never meant to end as a feeling. Feelings fade by morning. What I have given you is meant to become a way of moving through your days, a manner of walking that stays with you long after this voice grows quiet. The urgency you felt at the beginning has done its work. It woke you. But fear was only the trumpet, never the guide. From here you walk by clarity, not by alarm. Understand what has actually happened in this hour. You did not merely hear a warning. You crossed from one way of living into another. You came in reacting, and you are leaving responding. You came in gripping, and you are leaving with open hands. You came in deaf to your own hesitations, and you are leaving with your ear tuned to them. That crossing is real, and no one can carry you back across it unless you agree to go. But hear my honesty as well. This awareness can fade if you do not tend it. Not all at once, little by little. Comfort will return, and comfort is a gentle thief. The noise will rise again, the old routines will reach for you, and one small compromise at a time, the fog can creep back in. Do not let it. What you have gained here was too costly to surrender to carelessness. Keep the watch. Keep the pause. Keep the quiet place where you and I meet. For this is a partnership, and it has always been one. I will guide you, but you must listen. I will warn you, but you must respond. I will open doors, but your feet must cross the threshold. I do not move my children like pieces on a board. I walk beside them, speak within them, and honor the choices I gave them the dignity to make. Tonight you did your part. You stayed. You heard. Now your part continues in the daylight, in the small hours, in the decisions no one will ever see. Let me tell you how I will speak to you in the days ahead, so you do not miss me. I will come as peace that settles when you consider one road and not another. I will come as the check in your spirit before a wrong yes escapes your mouth. I will come through a word that finds you twice in 1 week from 2 different directions. I will come in the still, small voice that waits beneath your noise. None of it will be loud. All of it will be me. And when you stumble, and someday you will, do not turn your stumble into a wall between us. Come to me first, not last. Do not spend a week in shame before you pray. The moment you turn, I have already turned toward you. The Father saw his Son from far off and ran. Remember that it was the Father who ran. That is who I am, and that is who I will always be to you. Your worst day cannot exhaust my mercy, and your slowest season cannot outlast my patience. Carry others gently as you go, those you love, the ones you name in the dark before sleep, the ones whose struggles you carry in prayer. They are watching how you walk even when they say nothing. You cannot make their choices for them, and I am not asking you to. Walk your path with steadiness, and let your life do the speaking. A lamp does not argue with the darkness. It simply burns, and the room changes. Do not look back at the path you almost took. You will be tempted to in quiet moments, wondering what it might have held. Let it go completely. Lot's wife looked back at a burning city as if something there still belonged to her. Nothing there belonged to her, and nothing on that old road belongs to you. Your life is ahead of you now, on the road you chose tonight, and every glance backward is borrowed from the strength you need for forward. I want you to mark this day, not with noise, but in your heart, the way my people once stacked stones by a river so their descendants would ask what happened there. Something happened here. You were warned, and you listened. You were called, and you stayed. In the seasons ahead, when doubt comes asking whether I ever truly spoke to you, return to this stone. Touch it. Remember. It will answer the doubt for you. And now receive my blessing, for I do not send my children out with instructions only. I send them out covered. I bless the work of your hands. May it prosper in its right season. I bless your going out and your coming in. May the way be kept before you and behind you. I bless your mind with soundness, your body with strength, your sleep with peace, and your house with quiet joy. What I have blessed, no tongue can curse, and what I guard, no scheme can touch. I am not leaving when this voice falls silent. That is the last thing I need you to know, and the one I most need you to keep. My presence does not end where your hearing ends. I am with you in the morning that is coming and in every morning after it. I am with you in the room where decisions wait, in the conversation you have been dreading, in the step you will take this week that no one else knows about. I was with you before you ever heard me. I will be with you when you forget to listen. I am not a visitor in your life, my child. I am its foundation. So rise from this moment changed. Walk slower than your fear and faster than your excuses. Choose peace over pressure every time they stand in the same doorway. Release quickly, forgive completely, trust me daily, and keep your lamp filled. The road ahead of you is not empty. It is prepared. And the one who prepared it goes before you now, as he always has, making the crooked places straight. This is my word to you, spoken in love, sealed in truth, and kept by my own hand. Nothing that was said here will fall to the ground. Now stand, beloved, and answer your God. If you receive everything I have spoken over your life today, seal it now with your Amen of faith.
We run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.